A lot of people wonder how family values conservatives, like myself, could possibly be supporters of Donald Trump, considering his crassness, his past infidelities, and his less than polished demeanor. The answer is actually very simple. We hired him to do a job, and he's doing exactly what he promised to do. And that is something people like me have not seen or experienced in our entire lives. Now let me be very clear. I don't like Trump's moral failings. None of us do. He often says things that makes all of us cringe, but is that really what matters? Put yourself in our shoes and try to understand the nature of what conservatives have been up against. As we have seen more clearly in recent years, the ideas on the left are dangerous, their tactics are aggressive, they have no scruples when it comes to the attainment of power. For the last 30 years, they have been winning and moving things in their direction bit by bit, to the point now that socialists are actually winning major elections. Violent mobs are popping up in major cities everywhere, and conservative speech is being suppressed at whim. I think a lot of people who critique Christians who support Trump either don't like Christians no matter what, or they are naive about the nature of politics. Politics is a battle for power, and it's a team sport. And the stakes are way higher than any Super Bowl or World Series. So when the game is on the line and you've been losing for years, do you put in another polished moderate who looks good and says all the right things and wants compromise? Or do you put in a guy who's a little rough around the edges but knows how to make that crucial throw and move the ball down the field? There are two very different visions for this country. And the battle for power is either being won or it's being lost. You are either moving the ball up the field towards your goal or they are moving the ball down the field towards theirs. Our Constitution and system of government is built to allow this contest for power to happen in the safest way possible. Basically, it keeps the battle for power in the halls of government so that it doesn't spill over into the street. But sadly, as many have pointed out, the left often threatens the integrity of that very system as they look to radically transform our nation.
When they go low, we kick them.
And if you see anybody in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd. And you push back on them. And you tell them they're not welcome.
Texas Rangers anti-gay.
I just don't even know why there aren't uprisings all over the country. Maybe there will be. You cannot be civil with a political party that wants to destroy what you stand for, what you care about.
Get up and please get up in the face of some Congress people.
Is this the quote-unquote mob?
The McCains, the Romneys, the Flakes all represent what I like to call the loser wing of the Republican Party. I don't call them losers because they're bad people. I call them losers because they lose when it really counts. What's funny is that each of these men are actually, in many respects, role models in their personal lives. But in politics, they just don't score the victories when it's needed. They spend time constantly trying to compromise and play nice with people who have no interest in playing nice. They try to compromise with a group that is more than happy to take advantage of weak-kneed idealists who think being the nice guy is the way to score political victory for conservatives. It's true that politics is a game of compromise, but just as in business or poker, it must be a strategic compromise that is leveraged to your advantage. Politics is a chess match. It's a poker game. It's a high-stakes negotiation where the cunning are the ones who come out on top. And while someone like Romney may be a good guy, cunning is not exactly the word that I would use to describe him. Trump, on the other hand, may be a rough-edged person, but he is cunning, and he knows how to negotiate and use leverage. Because of this, he scores victories conservatives like me have never seen before. Just take a look at his actual accomplishments. Trump has accomplished unprecedented peace with North Korea, negotiated trade deals that are far better for American workers, is overseeing the largest economic boom of our lifetime with record low unemployment for all groups, including African Americans. He is protecting intellectual property. He is getting NATO to stop taking advantage of us and pay its fair share of defense. He has set record lows for illegal immigration. He has reduced taxes. He has dismantled Obamacare. He has appointed 2 fantastic justices to the Supreme Court. He has exposed media and Hollywood bias like never before, and many other things. And he hasn't even been in office for even 2 years yet. Name one other conservative who has done something like this. No, Trump is not my moral role model. He has all sorts of flaws. He says stupid stuff. But that's not why I hired him. I hired him to get a job done, and he's getting it done. And the stakes of this game are too high to put in a noble political loser like Romney or McCain when the game is on the line. And what do the never-Trumpers have to say while we're scoring all these major victories and moving forward in greater levels of prosperity and peace? Yeah, but he says mean things. Give me a break. I also think we should remember that this movement is bigger than Trump. And if he goes off the rails, I will drop my support of him in a heartbeat. Ultimately, it is about the movement. It is about a movement that is trying to revamp the loser Republican Party and make it win again. It's a movement that stands up for due process, for freedom of speech, for working Americans, for the Constitution. It's a patriotic, anti-globalist America First movement. It's a movement that doesn't care about your skin color because we're all Americans, and it's your character that counts. It's a movement that cares about the rule of law. It's a movement about equality of opportunity, not a forced equality of outcome. It's a movement to restore liberty. It's a movement to combat elites who rig the systems of power. It's a movement to make America great again. You see, we don't compromise on these principles. And as long as the movement has these principles at their forefront, I will be part of it, even if the one leading it has personal moral failings. Because the stakes are way too high, and we can't afford to lose. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, give it a like and hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching.